Hey everyone, it's Professor Downey. Today I am going to be talking about using keywords in your library searching, and hopefully this will make your experience doing searches in library databases much easier. I would guess that most of you, if not all, have gone directly to Google and done something similar to this, where you just start typing in your question like you were talking to a person, myself included, and sometimes we get some pretty funny results that Google comes up with. This is called a natural language search, and Google is pretty quirky about this. It does use natural language to do searching, but a lot of times you're going to get millions of results, and if they're really relevant, that's questionable. Library databases search a little bit differently. Library databases are going to search using keywords and in a type of searching known as Boolean searching, which might seem intimidating because you're having to use a lot of what are called connectors, ands, and ors, but the more familiar you get with this type of searching, the more helpful it's going to be, and I'm pretty sure you're going to like using it because it's going to make your results a lot more relevant when you're doing your research. So what you'll likely notice when you go into any library database is a similar setup like this, where you have multiple boxes and where you can add more boxes, and you see these ands and ors and nots, and it does look intimidating. But the more pre-work you do, or thinking about your question ahead of time, the easier it will be to fill out these boxes later. So instead of making you suffer through watching me create a research question, I already have this research question created for me. And as you can see, I've highlighted what I deem are the important words in this question. So again, in Google, I might have just copied and pasted this whole question and put it directly into Google and gotten millions of results that I had to filter through. But in a library database, I'm going to want to break it apart a little bit better. So what I'm going to want to do is spend some time filling out this chart ahead of time. And I'm going to try to think of some synonyms for each of these words and maybe some broader terms that could fit in or narrower terms. So that way, if I have these terms ahead of time, I can adjust my search accordingly. So if I find out that I'm not getting very many results, I can always go to a broader term. Or if I'm getting way too many results that aren't really hitting my needs, then I can adjust to my narrower terms. So again, instead of making you watch me fill this out, I'm gonna go ahead and fill it out now. And as you can see, the words magically appeared. But as you can see, there are still some blank spots on my chart, and this could be just because there's not really a good word that fits in this area, and then there might be some words that just really aren't the best terms. Another thing that I want to point out is that you might see that I have some words in quotes, and that's just telling me or reminding me that I want to put these words in quotes when I'm using them, because then that just tells the databases that I'm using them as a phrase instead of two words individually. So that will help narrow down my results as well. So coming up with your own key terms, that can be pretty challenging. So what I want to show you next is how you can expand your own keyword list by using other articles that might be helpful and using the different keywords that were supplied in those articles. So the best way to do this is to go into a library database, and here I'm using Summon. This is found directly on the library homepage, and I'm going to use some of my words that I put in the chart that we were just looking at. So misinformation, I'm going to put or disinformation, and this tells the database that I'm willing to accept either one of those terms, and that's what the or means. But then I'm also telling them that I wanted to look for information on campaign ads. I'm going to put this in quotes because I want it to be a term. And I want to make it a little bit more broad of social media. I don't want to specifically limit my search to Facebook at this time. And then I'm going to just use elections. I'm going to also check that I want peer-reviewed, because that just means that experts in the field have all reviewed these results and that it is highly regarded literature. So then I'm going to go ahead and click search. All right, so say that this one fits my needs. What I'm going to want to do is look at the article itself, and might have to click a few times to get where I need to go, and go down to supplied keywords and subject terms and see if I can add any of these terms to my chart that I made. So falsification, that might be another term that I want to use. Social perception, if I want to go in a different way than I originally thought, or even media outlet. Those could be words that I could add to build up my search terms. If we go back, we can look at some more. Even if it's in a different country, we can still get some of the same general information. We just go to the abstracts and details and see what's provided in either the subjects or in the keywords, which are, oh, right here. So again, more ways to find words that could be helpful in our searches. So not only might you be finding useful resources, but also you're helping build up and clarifying your search. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day.